Hey friends, on this week's Friday 5, I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about 5 different ways that you can save more money. Hey guys, welcome back to the Friday 5. Each Friday, I like to share with you 5 things, 5 somethings, right? Last week, I shared 5 reasons why your house is a mess and 5 ways that you can fix it. This week, I want to share with you guys 5 ways that you can be saving more money. So you guys know throughout the week, we share vlogs, we have teachings over in the collective, that's our membership group. We share different topical videos and podcasts discussing things from a biblical perspective. Thought I'd come out here and do this while the kids were playing, and I don't know how much of me you can even hear because they are having so much fun, but hopefully it'll work and we'll get something done. I thought this week it would be worthwhile, the topic of being frugal, of saving money, of living on less so that way you can live more, right? I know for us, when we became a single income household, so I could homeschool when we left our business and pursued ministry and doing all of these different things. And now the fact that we are in ministry full time, we completely live by faith and trust that the Lord will provide when we commit ourselves to doing His work wholeheartedly. It means that we have to really be frugal. We've got to save money, pay attention to what we're doing, pay attention to what we're spending. So we have to constantly be assessing these things, looking at these topics, and I'm constantly going, all right, how can we be saving more money? How can we be more frugal? How can we be better stewards of the resources the Lord has entrusted to us that we are getting the most bang for our buck, really? What are we doing? Especially in the day and age we are in now, where inflation is out of control, prices are rising like crazy, and it looks like there's no end in sight. So here are the top 5 things that I came up with that I think are just super helpful that I wanted to share with you guys today. Number 1 being the easiest thing that you could do right now is cut out those reoccurring services. Those are all of those little reoccurring monthly charges for various different streaming things or whatever. Really stop and look at those, because I think if we're being honest here, most all of us have signed up for things. We have these reoccurring. It might just be a couple bucks here and a few bucks there, but every month the stuff comes out. And when you sit down and you add it all up in the end of the month, you've got a lot of cash going out for these various different things. How many streaming services are you paying for, right? How many subscriptions are you paying for? How many of these extra little things do you have going out? Now, all of this coming from someone who pays her electric bill by people signing up for my monthly thing, right? Like, I get it. I have a monthly thing that I put out there and I hope people will find value in and sign up for. But look at the difference between things going out for excess stuff that you really don't need when it could be going toward things that you really do need, right? Really are meaningful. That is such a huge key factor, I think, for all of us. We end up, you end up with Netflix, you end up with Hulu, you end up with this, you end up with that. You have all of these little things. Oh yeah, maybe we signed up for this on the Xbox and now it keeps coming out. Maybe we signed up for this, have all of these little different things. I would really stop, pull up a bank statement, look at all the monthly things that are just coming out of your accounts, and go ahead, just sit down, take the time to cancel out the ones that you don't actually need anymore. We like to take everything from a biblical viewpoint and say, hey, is this helping to encourage and equip me in the ways of the Lord? If yes, awesome. We're gonna keep on keeping on with that. If no, then we're just gonna cut that out. And anything that we think we do need to keep, I'm going to sit down and say, okay, is there a way that I can do this for less, a way that I can do this for free? Is there some work I can put in that I could cut that out? Stop and really weigh those things. Even if you have the money, right? Say, well, I have the money to cover those things. It doesn't mean that that's where your money needs to be going. Because again, remember, if you are a follower of Christ, you need to think like a steward and not an owner. God has entrusted His resources to you. Now, it is your job as an ambassador of Christ to use those resources wisely in a way that honors the Lord. Little things to stop and remember when thinking about this topic. So, these reoccurring expenses, these streaming things, all these things that you have coming out, stop and assess those. Are those really where you need to be sending off money each month? stop and think about it, right? That can be a very easy way to start cutting out some expenses that have maybe crept in. It's a little bit here and a little bit there, so you don't really think about it. Maybe it's time to think about it. The second thing that I would absolutely recommend we all need to do right here and now is to make a budget and stick to it, okay? Maybe you say, okay, but we're not budget people. I get that. A lot of people aren't. There are so many great resources you can use. I think it's called like Every Dollar, and there's, you know, all these different things you can pull up that are great if you want to try to map your stuff out and keep track of it. But maybe you're right. Maybe you're not big budget people. But if you've never stopped to realize, okay, this is how much money we get or we have each month, where does that money go, right? I think stopping and looking at it and saying, okay, we spend this much money eating out. We spend this much money on this. We spend, like, start looking at the places where that money is going and maybe say, okay, a cash budget. I'm not a huge Dave Ramsey fan, I'm just gonna say it, but a cash budget is really helpful, right? Or for us, we used to have multiple bank accounts. We weren't big cash people, but we had multiple bank accounts. So I would put, hey, this is our money for bills. I'm gonna put it over here. Honey gets that much, I get this much, and now we kind of can keep track of our things. Maybe you need to sit down and kind of work out some form of a budget. Maybe you need to get really detailed with your budget. You do what works best for you and your household, but make a budget, stick to it. Even if it's saying, hey, we know this much for bills, you know, we kind of done whatever. I know we need this much for groceries, you know, kind of set those things aside to help you keep on track a little bit more. Because I think what most of us will find is every month, if we pull up our bank statements, there is a lot of money that kind of just disappears. You don't even really know where it goes. It just all of a sudden is gone because it's all those little things that just nickel and dime us all day long. It's going to the grocery store 10 times throughout the week and you end up spending so much more. If you would just put one grocery order together for the week, take a few minutes to meal plan, a few minutes to think things out, you could have one order that goes in for the whole week. You're gonna end up spending a lot less money because you're not picking up all those little things you do when you're going in and out of the store all week long. So make a budget and stick to it. The third thing I would absolutely recommend, this has been so huge, is these various different cash back apps. Hear me out here, okay? I'll rotate a little bit so you guys don't have the sunset coming down in your eyeballs. There's so many great apps out there. And if you're going to be having to spend the money already anyways, why not get a little bit back, right? Now for me, I will link the video, I've shared it before, but I absolutely love, I've been introduced to these things by a few friends. I had never used them before either. They're simple, they're easy. I put the extensions just on my computer, so when I sit down and I'm doing my grocery order, because again, I've made a budget and we're sticking to it, and I will purchase our food for the whole week or 2 weeks, so I'm not going to the store all the time and spending excess money. When I utilize these things, I end up getting cash back for doing nothing out of the ordinary. So I get the little thing that pops up, like I use Ibotta, and it'll pop up on my Walmart grocery order and be like, oh, if you get this, you'll get this coupon, or if you get this, buy 2, get 1 free, or whatever it might be. So that helps me as I'm selecting my stuff. And then I just get cash deposited to my account for doing the things that I was going to be doing already anyways. Rakuten is amazing. With my code down below, if you guys sign up, you get $30 back, or maybe it's 40. It's like $30 or $40 you get back when you spend $30 or $40. So if you get on and you buy the things that you're going to buy already anyways, but you use this and you've clicked my link, you're gonna get cash back just for doing that. We ordered food from somewhere the other day and we got like 10% back just for ordering what we were going to order anyways. I use Upside. You get money back on your gas. Literally, it goes, hey, these are all of our, you sign up, you get my link down below, you're gonna get extra bonuses from using those links. And then it literally is like, oh, hey, if you just get gas at these places, we're gonna give you X amount per gallon right back to your account. So if there's some apps that are simple, they're easy, right? They're not difficult, and you're going to get stuff for doing the stuff that you were doing already anyways. This isn't crazy couponing and you gotta do all these special things and grab all. No, this is doing what you were doing already anyways, and you get stuff for it. So again, those links are down below. When you guys use my links I have listed down below, you're gonna get bonuses for them, simply just for clicking on that link when you sign up. So definitely something I would recommend if you want to be saving more money, you're looking at your budget, you're looking at how much is going out, utilize tools that are going to give you money simply for utilizing them. That's a no-brainer, right? Absolutely use them. I already touched on this a little bit, but my fourth point again is think like a steward and not an owner. This is huge. I'm talking to those who are followers of Christ, okay? If you are a follower of Christ, you are an ambassador here on this earth, a representative of Him. Now, we know and we understand that everything, the whole world, right? The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. Everything comes from Him. So that money in your bank account, that is not your money. That is what the Lord has empowered and entrusted to you. And so everything we have is His. We can go through scripture after scripture after scripture of how important it is to not be storing up for ourselves treasure here on earth, to not put all of our focus in the here and now, but to live heavenly minded, eternal focus. We can see that. And so you want to stop and think with everything that you have. If I'm not living for this world, if I'm not living for the here and now, if my hopes and dreams and my priorities are not in this stuff here that burns up, then what am I really doing? And so when you're thinking like a steward and not an owner, you start to go, okay, do I really need this right now? Is this the best use of the Lord's resources that He has entrusted to me? If Jesus calls me home tonight, is this how I want to be spending my money today? You can tell a lot about the heart of a person by checking two books, their date book and their checkbook. Where you spend your time and where you spend your money tells us a lot about where your heart truly is. And so when we look at this and we're trying to be more frugal minded, we're trying to watch what we're spending, we're trying to make some of these changes, and you're saying, okay, maybe we need to get it down so I can stay at home with my kids. Maybe we need to get it down so we can do this or can do that or whatever it may be. You look at all these things and you go, okay, in the way that I'm using these resources, my time, my money, my stuff, my whatever, how am I best glorifying God? That is a real quick way to kick your booty and maybe help you in the, maybe I should delete some of these shopping apps off of my phone. Maybe I shouldn't spend so much on all of this excess. Maybe I shouldn't be so focused on, upgrading my car and doing this and adding on and all of these different things. It really can help to stop us, heart check us, and allow us to make better decisions when it comes to these things. Now, my fifth and final point here is to set a no-spend mindset. Maybe you want to set a challenge for yourself and you want to say, hey, we're going to do a no-spend month or something like that. I'm sure you've seen a million people do that. But I think just having that mindset overall is so huge. That's why I love talking about minimalism and simplicity, because I feel like the more time I spend in scripture, the more I see that reaffirmed that we should all have that mindset. We should all have that outlook, because this life isn't about storing up all of the stuff, doing all of the things, having all of the things. That's not our focus whatsoever as followers of Christ. And so to have that kind of no spend mindset, that mindset where if I don't need it, like truly need it, then I don't need to be spending money on it. How much of what we have is excess? How many extra clothes do you have? How many extra, home decor things do you have stored up in boxes? How many oodles of toys do you have all around your house? Are your kitchen cabinets just packed full of stuff? We live in a world of so much excess, and yet we are constantly bringing in more. Maybe in this whole, gosh, I need to cut back, I should probably be a little more frugal minded and things of that nature, maybe you need to just kind of pump the brakes, have this no spend mindset, and really start paying attention to what it is that you keep thinking you need to purchase, and instead give yourself a time frame of, hey, if I don't absolutely positively we have to have this or the world won't keep spinning, don't buy it. Leave it be. Think on it a little bit, pray on it for a little while, and then still see if it was as big of a need as you thought it was originally. So these would be 5 things that I thought of at the top of my head of just, if I need to save more money, what are things that I'm gonna start doing? I'm gonna cut out those reoccurring things that I don't need to be paying for. They're not edifying me in any way, shape, or form. I'm gonna make a budget and I'm gonna stick to it, right? I'm gonna start making some changes, being aware of where my money's going, and start adding in a little self-discipline. I'm going to utilize cashback tools and let that money just start passively adding up. I'm not doing anything, it's adding up. And when I need it, I've got a little savings account there that I can pull out and say, cool, we can cover groceries this week. I got some money in here I can pull out. I'm gonna think like a steward and not an owner, praying over the things and saying, hey, is this the best use of the Lord's resources that He's entrusted to me? And I am going to keep that no spend mentality where, again, I look at things and I go, do I really need this? Is this really important to be spending my resources on right now? Maybe not right now. Maybe I can hold off a second and the world will keep on spinning. So hopefully these things can be a help and an encouragement to you guys. I'd love to hear, what are your top things? If you're thinking of being more frugal and really watching your budget and saving some money, what would you do? Leave me a comment down below and I will see you guys next week for the Friday 5 of, I don't know. We'll see what we're gonna talk about next week. See you then. Bye guys. Congratulations, you made it to the end of the video. You've listened to me talk for quite a while. But now guess what? Somewhere here, somewhere on the screen, cool little things are gonna pop up, and if you click them, you can come join me for other things and it'll be super fun. So click the things wherever they are and I will see you on those videos because YouTube really thinks you'd be interested in them, and I mean, YouTube clearly knows, so I'll see you over there.